Now let's talk about how to be into the news as an expert in your profession. How we can get the media to write for free about you being an expert, which is different than what we did a little bit before, where we said the media is going to write about you as a jolly good fellow. Okay? That particular jolly good fellow media usually we do first for a little while. Not necessarily always, but it usually comes first. It's a little easier to get in it because there's less competition, there's less fear from the media that they advertise for you. Because the second they say you're good in something, they are basically advertising your service. They know that, and they want to rather get advertising revenue. Except if you exactly know what you're doing, then they will write about it. Getting into the news, getting into the press, be it for a jolly good fellow, be it for being an expert, above scientific and literally very systematic ways of doing it. They are as systematic and as scientific as any professions in the medical field or in engineering, such as machinery engineering, which I have done. All right, they really, really are. You need to realize that. So what is it we need to look for that the media will write about us and promote you, endorse you as an expert? You know those endorsements the presidential candidates get, you know, how important they are, and everyone else all the time. How will that happen? Okay, let me give you a small hint. All right, obviously the program will show you and guide you through it. And by the way, each one of our programs, when I talk about how to be in the news, the actual program has the actual letters, has the actual materials, advertising, what to say on the phone. All this is always part of the program. And of course, has to be justified, modified, and tweaked for your particular area and for your particular profession and for your particular happening. But there's not so much to modify. In the end, it's always relatively the same. There's a format, a very basic foundation format. Doesn't matter where you build a house, the foundation, it has to be there, and it's the same technology to build that foundation. It doesn't matter where, even though when you build one in Florida in the swampland versus in California in the earthquake land, there's a few different little things you apply and pay attention to, but as an expert you know that. So we are the expert, we know what to apply, and you got all the material, and of course our consultants guide you through it. However, so now, what are some of the things you need to pay attention to be into the news? First of all, you cannot say I'm good. You cannot, even if you say yesterday I saved a person's life with my expertise, chances are the media will not talk about it. Every so often they will. Every so often they will talk about a new machinery you got. Well, how many more new machineries can you buy to get a little press release? You go broke buying machineries for that little press release. It doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. It's not duplicatable. Okay, if there's anything more important than differentiation, it will be the duplicatability of things. If you know how to make one penny for sure, you know, then all you need to worry is how can you duplicate that 1,000,000 times an hour, and you will be becoming very, very rich. All right, as Mr. Roosevelt, Mr. Rockefeller said, I much rather make $1 out of 100 people than $100 on my own. Why? Duplicatability. If you can make it from 100, you can probably make it from 1,000 people. So, back to the news. You need to be able to be having something which the local media couldn't talk about without an expert from the local area, because that's what the definition of local media is, whether it's radio, television, or news. There are trends in the world going on, or in the United States, or for that much in a state, but you know, let's use usually a trend in the United States. And there are also happenings in the United States. Give you an example. When Tiger Woods gets an operation in his knee, a person who does operation in the knee, such as an orthopedic surgeon, could and should and must and has, oh yes, okay, talk about the surgery, can make a comment. Is this a good surgery? Should he have it? Should he not have it? And can put his 2 cents in it. He could then make people aware of what they should be taken care of, that they do not have to have the surgery, or they should have that surgery if the occasion arises. He could be making tips on how to avoid getting that particular problem. Or he could, whatever it is, he can be for what the national news says or against it. Okay, either way, he will most likely get into the news. Now that's a happening. Other things are a trend. The media, the large media, the national media, the international media will talk about certain trends in life. Those trends may be people are getting fatter, people are getting older, people are getting younger, people have more gum disease, whatever it may be. When you do it right, you link it to a national event or to a national trend, use the right wordings, and all of a sudden it becomes local news that people will print about. And you do that a few times, 5, 6, 10 times in the first year or so, or maybe more often, but either way. And all of a sudden, the whole media, if and when they need an expert, they will come to you. They'll, by the way, come to you also because they have printed and saw you in the newspaper for social activities. So the very media which put you into the paper for social activity will consider you being famous when they need an expert and will thus then interview you for a particular situation. You see, you must understand the way the news operates. A local newspaper in New Jersey cannot write about the World Trade Center being bombed even though it's across the river, because they're local. They're supposed to write about the cat falling down off the tree in the local neighborhood. If you understand how they operate and what they want and what they don't want, you know, which wordings will put up their red flag and say, oh, no, advertising, 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 you will be in the press continuously, and trust you me, that is millions of dollars. Not just being in the press as an expert, but also as a jolly good fellow. Imagine, you know, you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars of advertising, you get X amount of people. Why? Because it's advertising. It's you tooting your horn. And the other advertising is not advertising, but it's an endorsement. And either way, you don't have to pay for it. And that is the power of the press. The press has made and broke people. People in a huge industries, in a large industry. When the press writes about a particular new invention, about Amazon.com, about whatever it is, people will flock to it. Money makers, investors will go to it, and of course one has it made. If the press writes bad about a particular thing, it is rough. You know, just talk to restaurant owners who had a good article in it about them, what business they get, and talk to restaurant owner which had a bad article about them, about their food, and see how their place is empty. Okay, whether it's good or not that the people believe in the press. Because the press is not necessarily always objective, as you can see now. We actually know how to kind of like get into the press, how to manufacture press. I'm not saying manipulate, but manufacture. You know, except if there's a large accident with an airplane where everybody writes about it, and again, the local press won't. Okay, if it's not in their backyard, all right, then the press is manufactured by people like us. We know how to get it in. You need to learn it. You have a choice. You can hire public relations agents for $10,000, $12,000 per month, and after 6 to 12 months, they will get you results, some, a little bit. Or you learn it by yourself, okay? On how to do it, not 1 or 2 or 3 presses, but how to be constantly in the press. All right. I think you theoretically, you're literally already with that little bit, you know what to do. You can already try it on your own, but you might also consider watching the other videos and then go and hire us to do what I just talked about, because it will happen. It will boom your business. All the best.